In this video, we'll go over all the WoW news from the past week and try to compress it into a bite-sized video. The weekly event for this week is World Quests. The Archaeology Bi-Weekly is for a toy that lets you see things as demons. The Mythic Plus affixes are skittish, tyrannical, and bursting. And some spicy corruptions, they have Infinite Stars 3 on the corruption vendor. And into some other WoW-related news, Blizzard has announced more NA and EU realm connections planned for August 27th, which is in a couple of days. Look at the list on screen to see if it affects you in any way. Blizzard also announced some new Shadowlands animated series, or that they're going to put them out. Seeing as the past 2-3 expansions had really good ones, people are kind of excited for the Shadowlands ones. In Classic WoW news, WoW Classic now has all their realms down to 1 layer, which is a big deal to Classic WoW players. And for Shadowlands Spoiler stuff, they're going to do some changes to the affixes and Mythic Plus dungeons. Bursting is now a magical effect which can be dispelled, and it does damage based on the level of the keystone rather than a percent of the player's health. Volcanic will work the same way. It will now do damage based on the level of the keystone rather than a percentage of the health, and will also now knock players into the air if they get hit. Sanguine will have a reduced duration to 20 seconds. Grievous will now also scale to the keystone level, and healers can remove 1 level of it with a direct heal. And Explosive will still work the same way, but will now just spawn further away from enemies so they're easier to target down or whatever. And lastly, diminishing returns and secondary stat ratings is being applied to Shadowlands. Basically what this means is as you get more stats on higher level gear, it won't give you as much of that stat as it used to in the past. That way at the end of expansion, people don't have a 100% crit chance. And now on to the weather report with DevBot the Weatherbot. How's the weather out there?
People who are depressed talk to the voice in their head more than they talk to actual people.
Good one, DevBot. And now for the Mob of the Week. This week we have Algalon the Observer. Algalon is most likely named after Algol, the demon star, which was named such because it had an inconsistent brightness, and people considered it an ill omen. Modern astronomers were able to figure out that the reason it had inconsistent brightness was because it was actually orbiting around another star, which would sometimes have it covered up and be less bright to the naked eye, which happened roughly once every 2 days. Algol is also an anagram for an early computer language, which could be why Algalon talks like he's a computer program trying to reprogram something. And for something to do in WoW, did you know in the Orgrimmar Horrific Visions, there's a little mini event if you go into the barber shop, where someone will jump on you and cut off all your hair and give you a debuff, which doesn't do anything except give you a cosmetic appearance. And then there'll be a clickable toy item that you can grab afterwards. Now, it's not really recommended if you're trying to 5-mask something in order to grab this thing, but if you're not doing a 5-mask run, or you run them so quickly it doesn't matter, it is a neat little hidden event that's very easy to just run past if you don't know about it. Channel update. This is now the 151 episode of Bite Size WoW News. The fact that I've been running this for like 3 years with almost no views, obviously there are some views. You know, it's just when this channel gets like 1,000 views per video, when on my other channels I consider a video getting less than 50,000 a failure. You know, there are it's appropriate to say that this one is not really getting the kinds of views which are sustainable for a thriving business model, but I don't consider it such. This channel is a really good indication that there are still videos I make which I don't care if they do well or not, because I like to do them. And also, like all those bite-sized WoW news stuff, the NPC references, that stuff can be used later on in other videos, so there is some merit to it. So, all of that just to say, you know, for those few people who do watch these videos, hopefully you enjoy them, and with that, I'll see you all next week.